Welcome to Lesson 7 in the Introduction to Fine Arts course. I'll review the performance objectives and highlight the instructional note. Please read the full text that is on the Blackboard site. In this lesson, we have performance objectives. In other words, actions we want you to take. As part of the lesson, you should be able to compare and contrast the visual properties of watercolors and oils. Describe the characteristics of art and documentary photographs. Define the elements and principles of composition. Explain the properties of color and how artists can use them in creating works of art. Describe the effects of linear, atmospheric, and shifting perspective. Describe the 4 methods of executing sculptures. Compare and contrast the 3 categories of sculptural dimensionality. Discuss how articulation, negative space, and focal areas affect our perception and response to a work of sculpture. Explain how sculpture uses touch, temperature, and age, dynamics, size, lighting, and environment to stimulate our senses. In this lesson, we focus on the visual arts, specifically painting, printmaking, drawing, photography, and sculpture. In chapters 2 and 3 of your textbook, Spory applies 3 questions that are helpful when we analyze works of art. 1. What is it? 2. How is it put together? And 3. How does it stimulate the senses? The first question Spory asks is, what is it? In our analysis, this refers to the subject matter and is described as representational or abstract. Representational art can be from the natural world or the fantasy and mythological world. Abstract art can have a referent or be totally non-objective. That is, it's not portraying realistic people, places, or objects. We use the term referent to identify images or objects that are naturalistic and match what we see in the real world. It's important to note that all representational works have a referent, but abstract works may or may not have a referent. Refer to the examples in the instructional notes on the Blackboard site. When you describe the subject matter of a work of art, you must clearly identify whether the work is representational from the natural world, representational from the fantasy or mythological world, or abstract, with a referent or not. The second question Spory asks is, how is it put together? This refers to the medium and the form that are used to create the art. The medium includes the materials and techniques the artist uses. There are many descriptions of the methods and processes used by artists to create their artwork in the text. Artwork stimulates our senses through the elements and principles of design, also called the form. Read the text carefully so you understand and can apply these terms correctly when writing your visual arts paper. When you invest time and energy in the analysis of the subject matter, materials and techniques, and the form, you may find that you see and appreciate the work differently. All of these aspects help us gather meaning from the work of art. The meaning of the artwork is called the content. Perhaps the artist is telling a story through a representational painting or experimenting with the materials and techniques in an abstract sculpture. Formal analysis leads you to the meaning that the artist intended. After completing the formal analysis, you are ready to consider your own personal response to the art. Your personal response should be totally your own. Spend time with the artwork and complete your formal analysis. This way, your personal response will be based on a deeper appreciation of the work, rather than just a quick look and a like or dislike reaction.